these troubled times, our fifth objective, a new world order, can emerge.
Hey, welcome to This Week in Conspiracy. My name is Justin.
And I'm Brad.
And as always, little SADB, who may have been adopted, Ashley.
She does have red hair.
The only one in your family.
Only one.
She claims she's a George, but I don't think so.
Yeah, I don't know. Not too many of them have red hair.
Well, Pappy called her Shitty Ass Dirtball.
Yeah, so we're good.
So we're going to do something a little bit different this week. Instead of just whamming around on the news and talking about different things, we're going to talk about a certain conspiracy. Well, not necessarily a conspiracy, but
Just facts.
just facts. Money. Just about money, how money is, where it came from, how it works.
Yeah. $28 trillion and counting is our current national debt.
Well, it's not that important.
No, it's not.
That fact that they just print money and hand it out to everybody.
Right. Debt doesn't mean anything, and if debt doesn't mean anything, why do they take our tax dollars?
Huh.
Why not just print money?
I tell you what, you just blew my mind.
Yeah, just let me keep my money.
Just print it out, hand it out.
Print it.
And I'll
let me keep what I earn, all of it.
Sure.
And then you can just print what you need to make up the
Right.
rest.
Well,
I mean, that's how it works.
right. No, well, that's the way it is now.
Yeah.
Well, you want to talk about how money started? You know, what money is.
Well, okay, let's talk. Let's go way back in the way back time machine.
Sure.
So, obviously, mankind began with like a barter system. Like, hey, you have chickens. Hey, I am a carpenter. I'll make this chair. You give me eggs. But, you know, it didn't take long to realize that, like, barter doesn't really work.
Right.
Because, like, if I make a chair, a table, and a bed, but you only have chickens, like, how do we divide that up?
Right. It's hard to decide.
So it's hard. So, you know, like some of the early forms, like, they used seashells at one point. Right. You know, and then eventually they started to use gold and silver.
Gold. So that brings back to, like, what is money? Money is, it holds work.
Yeah,
the way I look at it.
Right.
Like, it's what work is worth. So, like, gold, it takes a lot to mine gold or silver, and there's not as much of it, so that's where the wealth, like, not the wealth, but the value of it is held.
Right, it's rare. It's rare, and it takes, like you said, work to get it out of the earth.
Right, that's what you exchange money for. Like,
right.
When I do work for someone, they pay me, they're paying me for me paying the guys that do the work, plus the material that I bought.
Right.
That someone,
plus
that
your
I'm,
time.
Plus my time, what I'm paying someone else to do.
Right, because they can't do that thing.
Correct. So it's
they have a different trade.
Money is worth work. So
right.
That's why the fact it was why money is worth nothing now, because they give it out for free.
Right. And you know, in like the beginning, so you know, here, you know, they started, and one of the good things about gold and silver is it was easily malleable, so it could be melted down into a small form, a coin, and it could be easily carried. Like, you can't carry 40 pounds of rice to the local market to trade for things you need. That's heavy.
That's heavy, yes.
But you could carry a couple silver denarii or some gold coins.
Well, technically, in the States, when, like, you would have gold, you would take your gold to a bank or a store, and they would give you a receipt that says you have X amount of silver or an X amount of gold, then you would trade that with everybody. That's where money actually started.
Right. That's sort of how it came about here, so that you didn't carry 40 pounds of gold around.
Right. Yeah. You get shot because
you have I have a gold bar. It's worth $1,000. Like, it's 42 pounds, and I'm gonna lug this thing around. No,
you give it to.
They gave it to the bank. The bank issues you, holds that in the vault, and gives you a paper that says, yes, this is how much gold you have. We'll put it in this account for you.
That's what people. Then people started trading certificates around.
Right.
For goods, and then that's how essentially they decided, hey, we'll make money.
Yeah, and like an interesting fact is, you know, like the little lines on the coins.
Sure.
That was because back then, when you'd get a coin, like, you could shave a little bit of that silver or gold off that coin, and then use that coin, but you kept collecting the shavings And in essence, you were devaluing
Value in
the
the
money.
money. Yeah. You're the
Right.
one, not the government.
Nah, not the government. It didn't
Oh.
quite get to that point yet.
Yeah.
So, like, that's like a super duper nitty gritty, like,
Beginning of money.
beginning of money.
Right.
So, I saw a really interesting meme the other day. Because, in episode 1, I think it was episode 1, that we talked
your
about
silver coins.
my silver quarters
Sure.
that I got. So, I saw an interesting meme. Weirdly enough, it just popped up on my feed, like, after we talked about getting silver.
What? Wait, you think that popped up because you were talking about by your phone?
No, that probably couldn't.
No,
be
that's-
it. No.
that's
just
a good-
pure 100% coincidence.
That's
and like we all here at This Week in Conspiracy believe in everything's a coincidence.
Right, because that wouldn't be a conspiracy.
Right. It wouldn't be a conspiracy.
No.
That they're listening. Thanks, Snowden.
They would never do that.
Yeah, Edward Snowden literally told us that they were.
Who's that?
The guy that
I'm
had to run to
joking.
Russia.
It's-
I know you are. So anyway,
Ashley might not.
the
know.
meme that I saw the other day, it had 5
Quarters.
quarters, just regular U.S. quarters, but they were silver.
Sure.
So they had 90% silver quarters. And it said in 1964, this was the minimum wage. Okay? $1.25, 5 quarters. Now, it also said on there, just the silver in today's dollars is worth like $23, I think it said. I don't think it was quite accurate, so it may have been an old one or
No, it's
something.
probably it's close.
Yeah,
Probably
I mean,
20,
the silver bounces
18.
around.
It's probably $18 to $23 in that range. That's already $8 more than our minimum wage now.
Well, that's about $12 more.
Oh, you're right. Yeah, 'cause
And so,
yes,
like,
yeah.
like I always tell people, like I think our parents were peak prosperity in America. I mean, if you drove,
That's-
if
even
you
not
drove
our
past,
parents, our grandparents for sure.
No, I think our parents were the peak.
It might have been.
I mean, if you think about it, if you drove past their local high school, you saw Corvettes,
oh yeah,
Plymouth Dusters, Road Runners, Mustangs, like American steel, dude.
Yeah.
Like what you drive like a 4-cylinder? I got a 360,
Right.
Like, and guess how they bought those? Like, they hauled trash in the afternoons, or they delivered newspapers, or they worked at the little local.
Worked at the
They
rail
made
yard or anything.
they made $1.25 an hour,
Right.
And they could afford a brand new 1964 Mustang. So, like, and then you fast forward to like when I went to high school, you drove through, and what'd you have? Dodge Omnis, Plymouth Colts.
Well, my buddies, I drove a 1979 Ford pickup truck. My other buddy drove a 1968 Cutlass.
Did you drive the Blue Goose?
No, I had my own
'cause I know your
79
dad
Chevy.
bought the Blue Goose.
Yeah, but I'm just saying, like, we actually drove the same cars that our parents would have drove when they were teenagers because they were better cars.
Right.
You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Well, you
And you would
had
get
a
it for,
full
like-
car.
That was a cool
Yeah,
car, and
a cool
I
car.
literally paid $2,200.
Yeah.
And it was a great truck.
So what happened in the mid '60s? They took us off the gold and silver standard, which
Correct.
our money was no longer backed by gold and silver. So like prior to the '60s, you could go into a bank. Now I know.
Well, wasn't that Nixon that took us off the gold standard? Put us on
Yeah,
the petrodollar?
Yep, Nixon took us off the gold standard, put it on the petrodollar.
Which, if you
Kennedy was issuing silver certificates to get back into it.
right, I have a whole thing on my
Yes. So boom, boom, what happened to him? Grover Cleveland, boom, boom, what happened to him? Because
Sure.
he was trying to stop the Federal Reserve Act of 1913. So let's go back a little bit. If you ever pull up on the internet like a chart of inflation in the United States, so from 1776 on, go pull up if you can even find it anymore. But inflation in the U.S. So it was relatively flat, except for a few blips. So obviously the Civil War, the War of 1812, we had some inflation, nothing bad. But then in 1913, it starts to go up.
Sure.
That's when we did the Federal Reserve Act, where they started to steal people's wages out of their paychecks. And then in the 70s, like, it goes off the charts. And it's been going off the charts ever since because they took us off the gold and silver standard.
Correct.
So if you look at like I used to get into arguments in with my economics professor about gold and silver because everybody said, and literally I argue with everybody about gold and silver because I like gold and silver.
Right.
And people will be like, well, gold and silver's not money. You know, it's not money. No, you know what? They didn't sell Christ out for 27 Verizon stocks. Dude. They sold them out for silver.
Yeah.
For silver.
Yeah.
So, since the beginning of, at least since the days Christ walked earth, gold and silver held some sort of value. And if you go anywhere else in the world, like if you go into, go over to the, this fractured old Soviet bloc with a handful of gold and silver and tell me
you can't get what you want.
You don't get what you want.
Yeah, you
right?
get what you want. Yeah.
Like we're one of the only, I think even in like Great Britain, like I think their money is still backed by gold.
Sure.
The sterling, the pound, silver.
Well, people don't get. I've always heard, poor people spend their money, middle class saves their money, rich people invest their money, and like the people that tell you gold and silver isn't money, yeah, it's not money, but when the inflation's up, you invested in something that holds inflation,
right?
And and I know that silver holds inflation. If you can go, like you told me 100 times that you told people,
it's my favorite story.
Yeah, you take a silver coin.
It's my favorite analogy.
Yeah, you say.
So don't try to steal my analogy.
I'm just gonna set you up for it.
So
listen here.
If you took a gold coin from 1920, so you take a gold coin from 1920, so like face value of I don't know $5-10 or whatever it was, a 1 ounce gold coin. You could walk into the finest suit store in town and get decked out. Hat, jacket, suit, tie, shirt, shoes.
Tails.
Everything.
Cufflinks,
tie clasp. You'd walk out like ZZ Top, dude.
Wait, the beard too?
He could even get a beard, I'm sure.
Shit, yeah.
Probably a shave and everything.
Well, I don't
and
want
a hot
shave.
bath.
I want that beard and mohawk, son.
So, now, fast forward. Gold is roughly trading at about 1,800. You can walk in to the finest suit store, a fine suit store, and for $1,800, you can walk out dressed to a T.
Yeah, the greatest baggy pants you could get.
Yeah.
The nice button-up shirt.
Like a $600, $700-800 suit, shoes, shirt, tie, hat,
whatever.
A cane. You probably even get a cane.
Overcoat, everything.
Yeah.
No,
so
$1,800, you're gonna look good.
You're gonna look good. So, does gold and silver? What they do is they retain their value.
Sure.
It's not about me being able to walk into a suit store today with a 1 ounce gold eagle and like flick it on the counter like I'm hot shit. It's the fact that I can take that gold eagle, give it to a dealer, get the $1,800 cash because it held value, and walk out.
Right, you maintain the value of your money.
Maintain the value of your money.
It's the same with stocks. These people are like, I made this much on my stocks. And so if you put $50,000 in stocks today, 15 years from now, you'll be able to buy the exact same stuff you bought before. It's a scam.
Right. It's a scam.
It's a scam. But you have to play the game to maintain your money.
Yes.
That's what they don't understand. Like, a lot of people don't understand money. And it's not because they're done. Did your father sit down and explain money?
That's the problem. We don't teach
They don't teach anything. Even in school, they don't teach you about money. No. It's the most important thing to learn.
Right.
You don't need to learn women's culture, whatever. I'm not to attack that, but it's just like
local history.
Yeah, you have to learn what money is.
Yes.
And that's what they need to teach poor people. Like,
that's what they need to teach.
Listen, everybody.
Kid.
We were people that check my privilege at the door here, but I wasn't raised rich. Other were you?
What? You had a 1979 pickup truck.
Shit.
I didn't have
a
car.
You called my bluff. You called my bluff. I had a carbureted car when everybody else was starting their car, but I had to sit out there for 15 minutes pumping the gas, and then you flood it. But no one teaches you how to manage money, what money is, what it's worth, or how to control it. So you walk around just people just, it's all about rap videos. Or, not attack rap videos, but even rock videos. All that stuff is just spend money, buy this, buy that, show off what you can spend it on.
Well, that's why they're all doing Geico commercials now, because they're broke.
Yeah, I mean, like, buy the biggest thing. The jet is the greatest. You know, whatever. It's not about, it's...
Well, the first thing, like, I think we were the generation, and I think people are starting to wake up now. A little bit, kids, I think. I think they're starting to see where everything's going. But I think we're the last generation that we were taught wrong. Gotta get a college degree.
Gotta get a college degree.
Gotta get a house.
Get that
Gotta
loan.
get a car.
Get that loan. Get that credit.
Yep, gotta build your credit up.
Credit. What's credit? I laugh at credit now. I own my own house, right? If they want to take my credit, they can have it. I'm already in.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, you're in.
I have my house. Go ahead.
The first thing we should be teaching our kids is to stay the hell out of debt.
Stay out of debt.
Stay out of debt. Save your money. Buy things with cash.
Invest your money.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not big in. I don't. I'm not. Like, I can't. Like, I'm not big in investing.
Well,
I'm big in.
it's not so much save your money. It's save your money to buy what you need.
Yeah.
Don't go in don't go in $125,000 in debt on a house when you can save up as much as you can. Then buy the house for $60,000, pay the $60,000 off as fast as possible.
Right.
Don't live in debt.
Right. Don't live in debt.
House debt's different than all other debts.
Yeah.
I mean, you don't need to have a $60,000 car, and all that stuff. But
That was going to be my next purchase.
oh shit, Ashley, I'm
Brand new Mustang.
I'm gonna tell you right now, if you like, instead of buying a $60,000 brand new Mustang, you should take your car, trade it in, and get like a 1964 semi-restored Mustang,
Yeah, you can fix.
and just hang on to it.
If I could fix it, I would do it. I
You
got
don't
that.
need to fix it. You can just put it in a garage somewhere.
Oh.
See, that's the.
I
In
wonder
our
if-
last episode, we talked about the spending
Right.
and our government spending. So our government spends and spends and spends. So what do rich people do?
Save.
They
No.
don't save, and they get out of the stock market. You know what they buy?
Assets.
Things that they know are going to go up. That's why
Property.
you see a LeBron James rookie card going for $5 million. Why? Because they know they're going to stick that in a safe somewhere, and in 20 years, that thing's going to be worth $10 million.
Well, art. Art is the thing that
Art.
people hide money on.
Jewelry.
Property. Property always maintains
Property's
its
good.
value.
Yeah.
Look at Bill Gates. He owns like 90% of our farm, like our farmland now.
Yeah.
Now listen, the conspiracy angle is he's wanting to control everything. The other angle is the economy's going to go into shit, and he wants to have assets.
And he's going to have something worth
money, assets.
Right.
He's burying all his cash because it's worthless
Yes.
into assets that aren't
Yes.
worthless.
Or, I mean, what do you do if you're a millionaire and you hear Biden's speech the other day, and he says, "I don't care if you want to make $1 million or $1 billion, but you're going to pay your fair share." That's code for, I'm not coming for Amazon. I'm not coming for Walmart. I'm coming for the dude who, has 4 or 5 hamburger stands.
Yeah.
Or the guy who was passed down 10,000 acres from his grandparents.
Yeah, the farm, the small farm.
Farmer. We're coming for you.
The
You're
mid-range
gonna pay your
farms.
taxes.
You're going to pay the taxes.
And if you can't, Bill Gates will buy it up.
Yeah, that's
That gives
it.
to the bank.
That's what people don't get. Like, people are like, oh, he's rich, he's rich. The guy's been handed down a farm that his father, his great-grandfather owned. Granted, he's better off than a lot of people, yes. But does he have the money to pay the taxes when he inherits a
$1 million farm?
$1.5
No.
million farm?
Right. You don't have the money laying around because it's all into the $250,000
Listen,
tractor.
I know these guys. They have busted fingers.
Mm-hmm.
They work on tractors. You know what I mean?
They're up from at the break of dawn, and they don't go to bed until well after the sun goes down.
Right.
They work their asses
They're the
off.
people I want to hang out with.
Yeah, right.
You know what I mean? But you see them. They work all day long, and their father leaves them a farm, and he wasn't. I don't want to be like, not to be ignorant, but not smart. Like, I don't know what a safer word to say. Like,
Right.
Not smart savvy enough to leave, because you shouldn't have to be savvy.
No, you okay.
You
we'll-
build
we'll
something,
hit-
you should
yeah.
be able to give it to your family.
So we'll hit this real quick. You're right. So they tax your wages, they tax your farm, they tax everything, and then when you die, they tax it again when you pass it down. Everything's already been taxed; it shouldn't be taxed again.
Right.
But we're kind of getting off
Yeah, but
gold, money.
right. I'm sorry.
So I love gold and silver. I love it.
You're like Scrooge Duck. You jump into
I
it.
would listen. I would love to be able to dive into a giant vault, build a robo dock that would protect it.
You dive, you swim around, and I walk around that rock thinking about stuff.
Because you're angry with me. Are you the Scottish Scrooge McDuck? It's always after me. After me money.
Nah, but there's a thing about like the Fed Reserve. People don't realize it's not even connected to the government.
No, it's the 5 biggest banks in the world.
Right.
5 or in the United States. So prior to the Federal Reserve Act, we ran everything on tariffs, and there was taxation, but it was all excise taxes and capital gains taxes. So, if you invested, if you bought Bitcoin at $1 and it made $1 million, you paid a tax on that.
Right.
I understand that. That's
Fair
great.
enough.
Fair enough. If you wanted to move your shoe factory over to China, we charged you a tariff to bring those goods back in here to
Correct.
sell them. And it worked well. It worked fine. I mean, we had colleges, we had roads, we had a postal service, we had a very small army, enough to protect us.
Right. Well, then, you had the Fed was started. You had, and then in the 30s, you had the Great Depression. Some people think the Fed forced the Great Depression to bring upon. So like these big banks like J.P. Morgan.
Yeah, big transfer of wealth.
Right, so they could just grab it up and spend, buy up all the. Well, like you said before, and there's thousands of small banks. There's how many small banks in your town now? There's
2 or 3.
right, and the rest are all big giant conglomerates. There's you have a couple. What do they call them now? Oh shit! What do you call them actually? Like the American Pride or like
A credit union?
credit union? There's some
Oh,
credit
geez.
union.
Well, that's what they are. They're either a credit union, a very small bank, or the big, huge bank.
Right. Well, in like 1910, Nelson Aldrich, Jacob Schiff went to Jekyll Island with Paul Warburg. The Rockefellers owned, or not owned, but they were big, giant contributors to the Jekyll Island estate. Him and J.P. Morgan.
Yeah, isn't it weird that if it's such a great thing, why do you go to a little secret island off the coast of Georgia?
Yeah.
Secret.
Right.
Secret.
Yeah, it was a little. They had it was a fox. They did a little fox hunting,
Mm-hmm.
and they did a little
They
fox.
talked about how they can screw everyone.
Right. Well, they did a little fox hunting. They came back with the idea to come up with a Fed, like a Federal Reserve plan.
And this wasn't a new plan. This was tried since the beginning, the founding of our country. They tried to push a
Fed.
federal
Right.
bank, but constitutionally, the government is in charge of minting
Well-
and distributing coinage.
Didn't Hamilton have a problem with that?
Yeah.
What happened to him?
He was shot
Oh, that's
by
weird.
Andrew Burr in a duel.
Andrew Burr.
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 Grover Cleveland.
Want to eat a peanut butter sandwich?
Lincoln.
Then Carter Glass, I think was his name, prepared a Fed Reserve Act in 1913. It was signed by Woodrow Wilson night on the 23rd.
It was probably signed by his wife after he had his stroke.
Well, that's another conspiracy.
Yeah.
About.
It's not even a conspiracy. It's fact that for like 8 months she signed legislation. She literally, hey, women's rights activist. She was our first woman president.
Right. Well, yeah. She was, yes. Yeah. But that was signed like the dark of night, the 23rd. Senate and was not in House.
Yeah, well, that's what they like to do on Christmas Eve.
Well, it was 2 days before Christmas.
Well, Christmas Eve, December 23rd.
Yeah, they signed it in office. Well, then there's another thing about Kennedy, right?
Well, Kennedy was bringing back
Well, you said it earlier.
silver certificate.
He wanted the silver certificates. He wanted to flood the market with silver certificates to eliminate the Fed. What happened to him?
I don't know.
Oh yeah, I forget. Ashley, what happened?
Dallas.
Oh, Dallas. Yeah, he's dead. So then the LBJ, it was gone. After LBJ, he just took out all those silver certificates back. I still have one.
I have a couple too. Yeah.
But
I wish I could go redeem them for $1 in silver though.
that would be nice.
You're supposed to. That's what that.
That's what it's
that
for.
was.
Yeah, you can
Yeah.
go. It's supposed to mark it on the
Yeah.
thing.
Yeah.
But that's it. I mean, what?
Well, ever since the Federal Reserve Act, your dollar purchasing power has become worth less and less. So that's why your parents or your grandparents could go to a movie, get a 2-liter bottle of pop, and have a nickel left over from their quarter. To today, you literally have to take out a small loan just to take your kids to a movie and get popcorn and drinks.
Listen, I talked to my friend not too long ago. He was talking about going to Disney. Okay.
There's 8K.
I
Oh.
wish it was AK. I think he said something like 12 grand.
12?
12 grand. There was now, granted, it wasn't 4 kids. It was like 6. It was like 8 people.
Okay.
But that is insane for a vacation.
Yeah. Now, if you think about that, if you took that 8 grand, right, or 12 grand, and you bought silver coins at
Yeah.
20, like when I was buying them, you know, I mean, 10 years ago they were selling for $9.
Yeah, I was
an
getting it
ounce.
for like 12. Yeah.
Yeah. If you would have dumped that all into silver, silver sells for $25 an ounce now.
Right.
So you would have what? Almost tripled your money.
What is it really tripled or just maintained?
Well, you just maintained your money. Your
That's
buying
the
power.
sick part of it. That is
Yeah.
the sickness of it. You think, hey, oh, I made all this money. Then you realize, shit, I didn't make no money. I'm just buying the same shit for the same price.
Right. They're saying that with over the next like 2 years, the Fed with inflation is talking about almost 40% loss in the purchasing power of your dollar. So 40%. Like that's why I'm into like I want to go buy like an old vehicle,
Right.
things that I can fix because things are gonna get hard to find. But like I'm big into gold and silver. I'm big like guns. Guns don't lose value. Start thinking in terms of not the papers the paper dollars or the fake digits that you have on a computer in your bank account, but start thinking about things that if
Maintain value.
that maintain value and that everything went to shit tomorrow, like what can I do with this?
You can use
so,
it.
Look, right. So like I needed a new pair of shoes the other day. So I only buy shoes that have Gore-Tex.
Sure.
I buy comfortable shoes that I know that are gonna last. So not like a work boot, but like a good hiker.
Right.
Something that I know that's gonna last because it might be the last pair of shoes
Oh,
that I
yeah.
can find. Like I may not buy another pair of shoes. I don't know. If the economy crashes, I'm not going out and dumping $120 on a pair of shoes.
Here's a psycho prepper tip. When your shoes are bad, you think you're done with your shoes, throw them in a bin. Keep them.
Yeah.
Keep them.
I have 2 Tupperware bins.
I have
of
shoes.
boots and shoes.
Yeah, no, just keep them.
Well, the problem with you is you wear size like 19 and a half.
Come on, man.
So like, who are you gonna trade an old pair of sneakers with?
I'm
Shaq.
gonna change it.
Sasquatch.
I have to
when
give
he
all
finally
my
comes
silver
out.
coins for one pair of shoes.
Yeah, but like I wear a nice round 10, dude.
Yeah.
Everybody wears 10s.
Yeah, all these little people.
Yeah.
Little people.
You know, I have
I'm,
bigger
hey,
feet than you
listen,
do.
I'm literally in the 1%. 1%
Yeah,
of
of height.
height, height and foot size, and then it doesn't equal up to the other things you would think it would equal up to.
Yeah. Maybe if we should we cut your shins? Should we cut your shins out like in not Family Guy? What was the other?
King of the Hill.
King of the Hill. His like the grandpa like lost his legs in Vietnam.
Yeah.
His
Hey.
shins. Just his
World War
shins.
II.
Hey,
Was it World War
In
II?
World War
if you
II.
meet my wife walking in the street, she's disappointed. Trust me.
Yeah, she ain't happy. So obviously the government has stolen your wealth. So, like, when you think about things like taxation and what is real, what has real value, I was driving down the road the other day and there was a sign for a used car. It was 3 years old. 3 years old.
Yeah.
$58,000. $58K, dude, for a 3-year-old vehicle.
My house isn't. I had that much. I had that much in my house 2 years ago.
Yes, that's what I'm saying. Like,
And it's worth more than that. I
So
mean,
think-
it's crazy.
when you're thinking about buying things, like, don't, like, think about debt. Think about what, like a $58,000 car that's 3 years old. What happens to that in 5 years?
Depreciates.
That's worth nothing.
Nothing.
It
Zero.
depreciates. Yes.
Zero.
Right.
That's
So-
not an asset.
No, but you spend $58,000 on a 1974 Ford Bronco that's pretty restored, because that's what they go for, 50 to 100,000. Like, in 5 years, that car's worth $10,000 to $12,000 more, whereas that Escalade that's 58 grand isn't worth anything.
Whatever. Property. Buy property. Jeez. Do something with your money. It's worth something.
Right. Because in the long run, this can't last forever. We're $28 trillion in debt. And if you think of that, let's just say $28,000 in debt. But let's look at it like your own home. Okay? So we'll just knock, 6 zeros off the back of that 20. If you were $280,000 in debt, right? And, like, you don't have anything to show for it.
I might have a gun in my mouth.
Yeah, like, because you're coming out of college and you're not getting a job. Like, when our parents come out.
Well, let's talk about that. Is the biggest scam
Yes, college is
in the
a scam.
history of the planet.
Yes.
Like, go to school, you're guaranteed to get a job, right? No,
Yeah,
I was
it's
told.
harder.
What were you told when you were in high school? Go to college.
Oh,
Right?
you gotta go to college.
Go to college.
Go to college.
Thank God I couldn't read, Brad.
I know. Thank God I was punching coins out of the back of a math.
Because
book in 11th grade.
I'm half illiterate, so I was able to avoid college, so I could work for my.
Wait,
my
don't you have a book of notes there? How did you write those? If you're
Well, I had my wife type them. She would
okay.
graduate college.
Hieroglyphics.
But like, so now you see you interrupted me and I can't remember. what I
Oh,
was,
jeez, Ashley.
Good job.
Come out of college,
Judas Priest.
and your
Ashley.
parents came out of college, and
Okay, no, our parents come out of high school.
My parents didn't go to college.
No, neither did mine. But they came out of high school and got good jobs.
Yeah, they
Like,
got.
my dad went to work for the railroad, which in 1972 was a freaking good job.
Right.
Now these kids are coming out of college with $100,000 in debt, and let's just say you do get a good job. What's a good job? A teacher making starting out at 40 grand? You're already 100K in the hole.
Right.
You don't own a house. You probably don't have a nice car. It's probably an old beater that you maybe drove in high school.
And we
Like,
talked about this before, not to be ignorant to teachers, but they're operating on a zero. They're working for the
Yeah,
government. None of that.
but-
You
I
understand?
mean, that's irrelevant to the fact that even after you work as a teacher for 20 years,
Yeah.
you're not even breaking 100K yet.
Right. No, it's
And it's funny because both my wife and I went into the public sector, right? So my wife and me go into the public sector. She has twin brothers who are younger. Okay, the one got like a business degree. He went to work for a private company, and within 5 years, he was making more than both of us combined. Right?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
So, like, he was a lucky one. He got a good job coming out. But, like, when you go to college and you get a degree, and, like, I argue this with my kids all the time. Come home from Penn State and tell me you're studying, like, women's studies or something. Because guess what Dad's not doing next year? Signing a check.
Yeah.
He's not doing it. I want him to be plumbers. Because guess what a plumber's...
engineers.
Yeah.
No,
If they go to school to be an engineer,
Yeah,
or
or
a doctor,
or
a vet,
nurse,
or a
or-
nurse, or something like that, yes, absolutely, that's 100% worth it. But, like, guess what a plumber's gonna make, or an HVAC guy's gonna make in 10
30,
years?
40 an hour.
No, more than
No,
that.
he's gonna be making doctor's wages.
Yes.
Because I just saw a report recently that said like 60% of millennials don't know how to do basic things around their house. So, when you call a plumber to unclog your toilet because you don't know that you can go to Lowe's and buy a snake and do it, not a boa constrictor from Petco, but it's a snake. You slide it down in your toilet and you twist it.
Spin it.
And if you do that, and it will, it unclogs your toilet.
You take your toilet off. You just take your toilet off.
Or you can take your toilet off, yeah.
Like,
I
put
mean,
your hand in shit.
that's literally 2 screws.
bolts. Yeah.
Yeah, 2 bolts.
Judas Priest. This guy went to
2
college.
bolts and a wax ring, and you can replace your
And he-
toilet.
Yeah.
If you pay somebody to come in and do that,
$100 an hour.
at least,
At least. And they deserve it because these people are stupid. I'm telling you right now, and in this, we talked about the last podcast. You can't pay no one. Like, these guys are offering $30, $40 an hour. No one
and
wants
that's
to
like
work.
roofing jobs.
Roofing jobs.
That's not even like a.
That's not a. I mean, it's skill, but
it's semi.
that is hard work.
Yeah.
I'm not going to sit here and say that's not. I will tell you what, $40 an hour, I probably wouldn't do it.
I probably wouldn't get on a roof anymore for $40 an hour.
No, I've done.
I'm too old for that.
I carry
I did that when I was 16. I'm not doing it again.
No, but to take it.
for $5.
I don't want to
an
stick
hour.
my listen. I don't want to stick my hand in shit either.
No.
But there's money in it.
Oh, absolutely. So I'm 40, 41. I'm 41. I got a friend I went to school with. He's a master plumber. I think he's a year or 2 younger than me. We played baseball together. But he's
Ooh.
a master plumber, and
Rich man school.
I called him one time and I was like, "Hey,
Big
like
man.
I need something done at the house." So he comes over to do it, And I'm like, "Hey, do you go unclog toilets and stuff?" Now he's 38 at this time.
Yeah.
He said, "Nope." He said, "I'll give them a number to another plumber that I know that'll do that, but I don't do that anymore." So, you get to 38 years old, you're not even sticking your hand in poop anymore.
Listen, I understand it. As a guy that's had my hand and stuff, but if you talk to anybody I ever know, I never did anything. I'm lazy.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
That's the way the world
Wouldn't
works.
you inherit all that?
Yeah, that's the way the world
Yeah,
works.
I know.
But
Yeah.
I wouldn't want to stick my hand in shit either for nothing.
No.
So there ain't no one. The problem is there ain't no one who wants to do it.
There's nobody that wants to work anymore.
No. I tell you what, I told my cousin, my mom and nephew, not my cousin, my nephew. No, it was my cousin. That's how many people I have in my family.
Yeah, I know.
But you tell them, hey, if you want to make money, go get your HVAC.
HVAC.
HVAC, I don't know.
Yeah.
But you can put air conditioning, that is money in the bank.
Yeah, to put air conditioning, to put a whole house air conditioner in, you're looking at $20,000. And I'm thinking 10 of that is what you charge just to do it.
Right.
The other 10 is the
Parts.
The
Well,
parts.
I know for knowing people that you always charge 100% on the furnace or the air conditioner or whatever.
Right.
So, which fair enough.
Yeah, you can't if you can't do it.
You
gotta
can't
pay
buy
somebody
it. You
to do
don't
it.
have educated enough to get it. That's
Right.
there's education to that. You have to know how to use the refrigerant, and you have to know how to use all that stuff and the gas lines. You have to have a license to do that.
Listen, I had my well pump over the summer, and the dude came and he pulled the well pump. So he had this homemade contraption he put out that ran the hose and everything up. Very basics. I'm looking at it I could do that. I could totally do that.
Yeah.
So he pulls the pump. He's like, "Yeah, this is old. It's 30 years old. You need a new pump." I'm like, "All right, cool." I'm like, "You know what? Replace the pressure tank in my house because I know that the minute you walk out of here, if you don't
Yeah,
replace
it's
that,
bad.
it'll start leaking." So he was here for 2.5 hours. He ran, it's like a thin, flexible PVC hose down in with a pump attached to the end of it,
Yeah.
And he runs it down in there. It was my well's 320 feet deep, but he's like, "You got great water running and everything." He's like, "You're good there." But he said he hands me the bill at the end, $2,500.
Okay.
Now listen, I'm guessing that pump maybe $300-400.
No, if you're lucky.
I'm thinking the hose maybe another $300-400 of the PVC hose, and that thing in here I saw at a local hardware store for $200. So $1,000 at the most. But guess what? I don't know how to do that. Now, I watched them. I stood out here and watched them the whole time, and I said, I could do this myself next time if I needed to, you know.
Right.
But I said to him, how many of these are you going to do today? He's like, well, you're my third one. It was like 11 in the afternoon. He said, you're my third one, and I have 3 more.
Oh, 6.
So 6. And he was just one crew.
Right.
He had another crew out
Oh,
there.
yeah.
So you figure that's 6 times $2,500 a pop. Do the math, dude.
That's good.
Well, he's illiterate.
That's like 12 grand.
Listen, I barely can read. But that's good. That's good for the. I mean, that is what we. I'd rather have those guys make money.
Yeah, I know. Than Bezos.
Yeah.
I mean, how do you run a company? When they first started Amazon, they were losing like billions of dollars a year. How do you keep doing that? Like, who's funding you?
I don't know.
Billions of dollars
We're way
before
off.
you finally become
I
profitable.
think we're way off money. I don't know. It's all connected.
It is all connected because here's the thing. The dollar bill that you carry around in your pocket does not have the same, it's the same exact dollar bill that my great grandfather carried. The exact same one.
Well, the same Illuminati symbols are on it.
It's the same $1 bill.
If you want to get deep.
But that $1 bill doesn't buy nearly
No.
the stuff that my grandfather
Well,
could
they
buy.
tell you the dollar bill loses what? 6%, 5%, or something like that a year.
Well, if you're talking, if you listen to the Feds, well, annual inflation is right around 1.5% to 3%.
3%. So that means it's probably 6. Is why.
Yeah, it's probably about 14.
Wow. 6 is the happy medium.
And then you have a bad year like this. I mean, what's inflation? Like we've just literally watched lumber quadruple in price. So what's
Well,
that inflation? You know.
Listen, my metal distributor said, "Hey, listen, don't expect. It's not a guarantee, but it's going to be at least 9% a month this year for the raise of price." I said, "That's 120%. That's close to 120% by the end of the year."
Yeah.
Say, "Well, yeah. So,
It's 110.
well, yeah. Listen.
Roughly.
Oh my. No, adjust accordingly." He said, "You know."
Yeah, I get it. Yeah, it might be 13%.
But he said it might not
5,
happen, but it's looking that way right now.
What's happening?
And the last 3 months, 9% interest rate. I get a fucking email. Oh, I just dropped the F bomb. I got an email, 9% interest. 9% interest. I sell rain spouting.
Luckily, you bought a whole bunch of.
I bought some metal before. before.
when I told you to.
Oh, yeah, but I sell it for $5.50, like around $5 a foot. At 120%, that's like
That's $12
dollars
a foot by the end of the year.
$12 a
Yes.
foot. Who is going to pay almost like the average house right now, $1,000 bucks. So you're looking at like $3,000-$4,000 for like if I put gutter in your house, that's
Well,
like
you'll look at you're almost doubling the cost of it.
yeah. No one's going to do that.
No,
I'm going to have to
you're
fire
gonna
all my guys
and do it yourself.
do it myself.
to make any money.
And I've had arguments with people, these, either liberal people. They think that I'm stupid, but I said, listen, it's not going to hurt me.
Right, because you're gonna find a way to make money.
I have to.
You have the machines, the knowledge, and the ability to do it.
It's not like I'm a genius or nothing.
No,
I
but
have to find.
Right,
I'm going to be forced to find a way to make money to feed my family.
right.
So
And what's the easiest way to cut costs?
you cut employees.
You cut your employees.
I have 9 employees right now. I'm not like we're not lighting the world on fire. We're not hiring 100 people. Like I'm not a giant corporation or nothing.
Yeah.
That's 9 guys that aren't gonna have a job.
Right.
That's
And but that's the backbone of America. Is the little companies like yours?
sure.
It's your company hires 9 guys. The other guy's company hires 5
Well,
guys.
that's
they
the
hire
whole
8
economy
guys.
around this area. Since the big corporate, like the big factories left.
Yeah, since the railroad left.
all the railroad and all the other things left, like SKF and all that stuff, it is just small construction businesses.
Yeah.
That's the people that have money.
Right.
So when the money goes away, restaurants are going to suffer. Everything's going to suffer.
Right.
But no one, I don't know.
So, like we said, our money is becoming worth less and less until eventually it becomes worthless.
Worthless, zero.
It will be worthless. So you have to start planning accordingly. Think about every purchase you make should be thought out. It shouldn't be like a spur. Oh, the new PlayStation's coming out. I'm getting it. Like, that thing's worthless. New iPhone, they're worthless already. Like, they're junk. So when you buy things, you know, a house is a good investment, and like, you know, land, physical things that you can hold that the government can't necessarily take away from you.
Yeah.
So,
go ahead. Sorry.
like, I know we kind of got off topic. We gave like a very brief history of money and like, but more importantly, we're trying to tell you guys, like, this whole ride that America's been on with the Great Reset they're talking about, they're trying to, when we talk about like equality and everything, you know, that's like every other word out of the government's mouth. Well, guess what? They're never bringing the African continent up to where we live. They're bringing nobody up to where we live. You can't.
No,
it's impossible.
It's impossible.
The only thing they can do is bring us down to where they do. And I think the Penguins are losing because the tech goddess
It's
just looked
tied.
at her phone.
It's tied.
And
Sorry.
gave a cringe.
Oh, it's a tie.
Tied
But,
with 15 seconds left. Sorry.
Listen, if right now, go out and support your local businesses. Save your money. Don't do any extravagant buying.
Yeah, use cash on things.
If you don't have cash, is go like right now. Save your cash. Save your buy assets.
Yeah, buy assets.
If you can buy
things.
assets, buy assets. I mean, not everybody has extra money laying around, but definitely support your local
Buy
business.
food.
Buy
Buy
food.
canned food. It's good for a long time.
Yeah, canned food, bullets,
Anything you can get your hands on.
But if you're going to go out on a Friday night and have a good time with your friends, go to a local business.
Yeah, don't go to a chain.
Stay out of chain businesses. Yes. Just go to your local guy.
Because guess what? The guy who owns that chain at the top, not your manager, not your waitresses, the guy who owns that,
He don't give a
he
shit.
don't give a shit.
They don't give a shit about you. Go to
It's
your
all the
local.
same crap
Go to your
you
local
do.
businesses. If there's a local guy in town that sells shoes, go buy it off him. Whatever.
Yeah.
Anything you can do to stay local. Stay local, please.
I know this is a little different episode than what we normally do, but
Well, it started out different, but it ended up the same. I think.
yeah,
But whatever. Who cares?
this is what we do.
So listen, I didn't do it again. I didn't bring it up in the beginning, but go to this week in conspiracy on Instagram. That's that's one word, and our email is thisweekinconspiracy@gmail. Correct?
Yes.
Ashley, what's our Facebook?
This Week in Conspiracy. Just look for the page. It'll come up.
And then what's our Twitter?
_conspiracy.
Oh, what a loser! She couldn't even get a good word for that, but that's the way it's going to be.
That's it.
Send us some emails. If you want an email read, send it to us. We'll read it on.
We might make fun of you.
Well, who cares?
Who knows?
Who cares? I'm an idiot. So just send it. We'll read it. You probably know more than we do. Like I said, I barely can read.
Yeah.
I'll have to have Ashley read it for me. So send
Brad
an
has a
email.
college degree.
Hey, check us out on Instagram. Send us some stuff on Instagram, whatever. We'll read it on that even.
Yeah.
On Facebook.
We'll
check us
comment.
out.
We'll comment back
on
to
it.
you.
Yeah, so that was another, I guess, a mini episode. We were supposed to give you some more history, but we got into
We
the same
can't
thing.
help what's going on.
We're
our
so-
own little thing.
We have Mohawks.
We're
What
so
are you gonna
deep
do?
into this already. It's hard to go back to the basics.
Yes, it is. It's hard. So have a good week. God bless.
Peace.